It's like that because power, whether in an authoritarian state, a supposed democracy, or a cultural scene, always seeks to sustain itself, and human psychology plays along. The machine isn't some abstract thing imposed from above. It emerges from the instincts, fears, and desires of the collective. 1. Fear and Control, 1984, Machiavelli Macbeth. Power is maintained through fear, whether direct oppression or the more insidious kind that convinces people to police themselves. Orwell's 1984 shows the extreme, an omnipresent system where truth is whatever the regime says it is, and people learn to betray even their own thoughts. Machiavelli lays it out plainly. Rulers must manipulate perception, weaponize necessity, and use cruelty strategically. Macbeth, once he tastes power, becomes paranoid, killing not just enemies but potential threats, real or imagined. The system, once in motion, devours itself to sustain itself. 2. The Absorption of Dissent. Brave New World, The Muppet Show, Corporate Rebellion. Huxley's Brave New World presents a more sophisticated control. Why rule by terror when pleasure, distraction, and social engineering do the work for you? Give people comforts, superficial freedoms, and let them believe rebellion is futile or unnecessary. Modern culture does this well. The system doesn't need to kill every radical, it can turn them into marketable brands. Punk rock, Banksy, woke capitalism, each absorbed into the spectacle, their radicalism commodified into something safe, something consumable. 3. The Collective Hive and the Lord of the Flies phenomenon. In Lord of the Flies, boys stranded on an island don't create a rational society. They revert to tribal violence and blind obedience to authority figures. They become a mob, needing scapegoats to maintain order. The same impulse runs through history. Societies form hierarchies, and those who don't conform, who see too much, who speak too plainly, must be neutralized. The mob doesn't just follow power, it demands sacrifice. 4. The Hamlet problem. Seeing the truth, paralyzed by it, Hamlet understands the corruption around him, but that very knowledge isolates and paralyzes him. He can't act in the way the machine expects. This is the tragedy of many real-world thinkers and artists, seeing the game but unable to play it without losing themselves. 5. The permanent bureaucracy and the rot that sustains it. Every system, whether government, art world, or media, eventually fills with those more interested in maintaining their status than in any higher purpose. Kafka's The Castle and The Trial capture this. A machine that grinds on, not because of a single mastermind, but because of a million small, self-interested bureaucrats, each reinforcing the system in their own petty way. Why it's like this? Because it works. Because power and control are fractal, endlessly repeating at every level of human organization. Because people are afraid to step outside the machine. Because those who try are either destroyed, co-opted, or turned into tragic figures for future generations to mythologize, but not follow.